And I was like, oh, like what happened? Because he had been asking all week if he could wear it. It's like, it was just a little tight. But it was obvious like that he was all like
nervous,
out of sorts and panicked about it. So
I was going to put, because I stole those tattoo sleeve things that he took for the guitar smashing. I stole those because I know that he was planning on wearing them in the chair next to me and trying to make an ass out of me, kind of a thing. So I'm like, no, fuck you. You're not getting those back until after I leave, is what I told him.
obviously he did a winning job of volunteering himself to go on the block. Whoopsie.
The biggest blunder to that point was Mike.
Yeah.
Now Dustin takes the cake.
I jumped on it the second he said it. I jumped all over it. I told Jess, put him up. I said, if anything changes, who's the person that you'd be most comfortable losing? And she's like, oh, definitely Dustin. I was like, then as soon as he offered, I said, put him up. And he tried to get out of it. He said, I thought about it. I don't know if it's a good idea anymore. And we're like, nope, sorry. It's a great idea. You're in.
That's what I told him from right when Jessica got HOH. I was like, the only chance that we both have is if some miraculous way if we can get Jessica to put up Dustin as the POV replacement. And then when I heard all this, I was like, what?
I mean, it worked out well because she was not had no reason to make an additional enemy out of Jen or Zach for no reason.
Exactly.
Both of them feel at least decently about her, so there's no reason for her to ruffle their feathers if that wasn't the target anyway. So it was like, Dustin's like, yeah, well, that's fine, so we'll just put me up with the votes are there anyway. It doesn't make any difference. And then he was all...
He didn't want to go up against me, right?
For some reason, and he thought it would be like a real slap in the face to you for like you to lose to him. And he was, was going to do some sort of, obnoxious speech or something like that, I'm sure. And he then tried to weasel his way out of it. I don't know if it's a good idea. I've been a part of some big moments this week, and maybe it's a little too much for me. And, between...
Big moments that he's lost to me
and
this
just like
week.
all of these things, he starts... And then... that's when I was like really not feeling well, so I wasn't really a part of their discussions at all. I was totally out of the loop, but I just came up like for 2 seconds once, and I was just like, he has offered it at one point. I don't fucking care what he's saying now.
Yeah.
Put him up. And I knew
That's
that...
why Jessica was crying when she did it?
Well, she was hearing all sorts of stuff again about his conduct and this and that.
And with us, right?
And, we all knew last week that he had stuff going on with you guys and with us and with Kale and Jen and with everyone. We were all fully aware of everything that he was doing all week. He thought he was all on the sly, but he really wasn't. And, from her standpoint, I think she liked him personally, but she did not like him from a gameplay or strategic standpoint at all. Exactly. And, I've been saying all along, you can have differences with a person that you're with, but for Joe to be as dramatic and hyped up as he was, Dustin had to have that as part of his character, or they wouldn't have worked. It couldn't be just Dustin was this mild-mannered, quiet guy, and Joe was this over-the-top
the
drama
exact
queen.
same thing.
They had to go at it and make the big dramas with each other.
That's what we said.
In the game, I couldn't take the risk. That I just couldn't believe him. I believe Dick when he says stuff to me. And for Dustin to say stuff to me, I caught him in like 2 or 3 things with me that just was like, and just flat out just convinced me. Like he sat there and was just like, you and me. Just boom. Just perfect face, didn't leave anything, just completely lied straight to my face multiple times. And I was like, all right. I was like, if I get released from my word, then I'm taking him out because I couldn't trust him at that point, and that's why I let him go.
I understand.
And I think, personally, I think he played himself way too thin. He really started to start acting like Joe, like he did. He was real boastful when he went up. He was real smug about it and stuff. It was kind of like Kale was doing, but he was way over the top, and that bugged me. I don't respect that. That's a tactic that should not be used. Granted, these tactics aren't any better, but I would have expected Dustin to be more of a player, and not really do that. That's, honest. That's my view. I would have stuck to my vote if Jessica held me to it.
Yeah.
But she didn't. Yeah. So I said, I got to do what's best for me. And I don't regret my decision because we're here to play a game. I can't trust people that aren't who they say they are. And that's why I voted against him up until today.